Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 14 Plus and compare it against the iPhone 14 Pro Max and see which specific phone is the better one for you. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off side by side, they're both kind of different phones for the most part. I think most of us know this by now. The iPhone 14 Plus on the front has a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. It's a decent panel, I think it's a pretty good looking panel for the most part. It's very big. The iPhone 14 Plus and 14 Pro Max have the exact same size panels, so I think that's a cool thing. You're really not missing out on much between both, but I'm very happy that both these panels look good, they feel good, and they still have very, very good resolutions. The iPhone 14 Pro Max, I don't even know where I'm going with that. The 14 Pro Max has a 6.7-inch LTPO Super Retina XDR OLED display. The big difference here is that 1, we have the dynamic island on the 14 Pro Max, but 2, we have a 120Hz panel on the 14 Pro Max as well, which is pretty cool. We do not have that on the 14 Plus, so I'm really happy we do have that at least on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Lightning ports at the bottom, flat sides. The build of the iPhone 14 Pro Max is so much better than the build of the iPhone 14 Plus. We're getting glass backs on both, but the 14 Pro Max does have that frosted glass back, which feels and looks amazing. That's another really big asset for something like the 14 Pro Max right there. You're getting a triple camera setup on the 14 Pro Max, dual camera setup on the 14 Plus, and overall, I'll definitely tell you, the 14 Plus still looks and feels great, but the 14 Pro Max is a way better phone in pretty much every single area. In terms of the camera setup, the iPhone 14 Plus has that dual camera setup, 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has that triple camera setup, wide, ultra wide telephoto lens. You're getting 4K at 60 on the front and the back, so the same resolutions you can film in, kind of the same type of front camera too, maybe a little bit better on the 14 Pro Max. But I will tell you, the camera quality on both these phones is going to be great. You're going to be able to film really good videos. You're going to be able to basically do whatever you're going to want to do on one, basically on the other. The big takeaways though is that you have a few more features built into the 14 Pro Max, but you're also getting that telephoto lens on the 14 Pro Max as well, which is kind of nice if you want to zoom in a lot. I think you're getting like 15x zoom now. Pretty good stuff on that phone. 14 Plus though, standard 5x zoom, which is kind of lackluster, but still nice that you have that type of capability. So definitely the 14 Pro Max is the better camera here in every single way. In terms of software, the 14 Plus and 14 Pro Max may end up lasting around the same time, but because of the differences in the chipsets, there could be a situation where the 14 Plus doesn't last as long as the 14 Pro Max. We have no idea what Apple's going to be doing here. If I had to kind of estimate, I would probably say that both these phones are going to be lasting around the same time. I would say maybe the 14 Pro Max, if there's going to be one that lasts longer, it is going to be the 14 Pro Max. But as of this point, it's kind of tough to tell, and that's kind of where we're at as of this point. Performance-wise, the iPhone 14 Plus had that Apple A15 bionic chip inside of it with 6GB of RAM, where the iPhone 14 Pro Max had that Apple A16 bionic chip inside of it with 6GB of RAM. So you're overall getting a better performing phone from the iPhone 14 Pro Max than on the iPhone 14 Plus. So that's probably another minor thing to keep in mind as well. Battery life wise, kind of around the same thing. You're probably not going to be noticing massive differences here either. So to kind of sum up this video, what I'll tell you is I definitely do think the iPhone 14 Pro Max is the better phone you should buy times 100. It is a better phone in every single way, and I don't really know in any which way where the iPhone 14 Plus is the better phone. I think the 14 Pro Max is clearly the better one, and that's probably the one I would recommend a majority of people to buy over the iPhone 14 Plus. So that pretty much covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.